Have you been struggling with top-down analysis? In this video, I will show you how I do my top-down analysis, what are the things I look out for, and the confluences that must be present before I place a trade. And this is something I do every single time before taking or placing a trade. As a trader, you should understand that there is no need to rush when analyzing the chart. You have to take your time, even though this is a speculative game or business and nothing is certain, all right? For this video, I will be using the FX Replay backtesting software. For those that don't know it, it's a very great software for backtesting and also way cheaper than TradingView. I think it's about 4 point something dollar, let's say approximately $5 for subscription monthly, and you can use it for free. That is, you can use the free version, even though it has limited functionalities when making use of the free version. Without wasting time, let's dive into our charts. In front of us, we have GBP USD looking at us. And in this video, I want to show you how I go about, as I said before, making my top-down analysis. What are the things I need to see before I place a trade, before I either go for a buy or a sell? Now, looking at the chart in front of you, you can see that this is GU and it is breaking structures to the upside. You can see consistent break of structures to the upside. If you look at this chart closely, you can see that this is an overall break of structure to the upside. But we don't want to start reading the chart from this particular zone. We want to look at what is happening from these structures that the market is printing right here. And looking at it, this was our last break of structure to the upside. Now, where is the origin that caused this break of structure? It's this particular candle right here. Why did I mark out that candle? Because we have imbalance present at that particular zone. Now, what do I want to do? I want to now go to, since I'm starting from a daily time frame, I will start redefining this particular zone till I get to my entry time frame. And if I should get to an entry time frame, and then there's another thing you should understand, you can come into a higher time frame, in this case the daily time frame, and you see price printing structures to the upside. Now you've already understood that price is now dropping to the downside, probably it wants to come and mitigate this other block here before we can keep seeing that bullish move to the upside. Now what do I do? I will now go to my lower time frame or my entry time frame to keep redefining this other block and to start looking for entries at this particular drop the market is doing currently here, because I will not fold my arms and wait for price to get to this other block before I start trading. Now let's go to my 4-hour time frame. Now on my 4-hour time frame, let me redefine the other block we saw on the daily time frame, and that is it. What is currently happening here? We can see that on a 4-hour time frame, market is printing structures to the downside, and we have a break of structure right here. Let me mark it out. And we also have this break of structure right here. This is how I go about analyzing my chart. You can see how I'm taking my time. Now looking at this chart, where is the origin? Because after this break of structure, we had this change of character right here. Now, where is the origin that caused that change of character? We have two zones that I'm going to mark out right now. We have this zone right here because we can see imbalance seated right there, and price hasn't yet mitigated this particular order block, okay? And we also have this particular one right here. But if I'm asked which particular order block do I want to go for, I'll be going for this reasons, and I'll be revealing the reasons why I'll be going for this and not this, okay? Let me delete this and mark this particular zone as my order block. All right, now let me head over to a 2-hour time frame to redefine that particular order block. Now you can see how I've been able to redefine this order block from a 2-hour time frame. Right now, what am I waiting for? All I'm waiting for is for price to come into this order block before I start looking for selling opportunities, because this was our last break of structure to the upside. Price has cleared this particular zone, making it a change of character, and this was the origin that caused the change of character. I will now go down to my entry time frame. Now, the 1 hour time frame is where I come to enter and exit the market. Okay, this is where I come to enter and exit the market. I will now redefine this other block to my 1 hour time frame zone or other block. Okay, and what am I doing? It is on my 1 hour time frame that I want to come and see if all the confluences I need to take this particular trade are checked, right? First things first, I've been able to spot my order block. That is one. Secondly, I've been able to spot liquidity seated right here. This is two. Okay, that is an equal high liquidity seated right there. Number three, I've been able to spot that we have an imbalance candle right there, and I've been able to mark it out. Now, I've spotted a break of structure, order block, imbalance, liquidity. Lastly, and very important, I want to check if price came into a premium area for me to sell from. And as you can see, where my order block is, if you have watched my video where I talked about Fibonacci or premium and discount zone, I said I love going for the 78% Fib retracement zone to use it as my discount or premium zone or my Fibonacci area for either a buy or a sell. And as you can see, my order block is very close to this particular zone. So I want price to come and mitigate this particular order block since all my confluences are in check before I start looking for sell opportunities. Now, what will I do? I will place my pending order right at this zone. Now, two things will happen. If price should mitigate me and go my way, good. If price doesn't and decide to hit me out for a stop, no problem. If price doesn't even come close to my entry, I'm not still panicking because my strategy has told me that all my confluences were met at this zone. So it is ideal for me to wait for price to come into this zone before I start looking for selling opportunities. Let's play this chart. Okay, and look at what happened. Price did not mitigate my order block. Rather, price reacted from this particular zone right here and drop. Now we now have a new break of structure. Let me delete all this. This particular zone is no longer valid because we will now be looking for entry on the recent origin that caused the break of structure. And before I do that, I still want to go down to my daily time frame, and on my daily time frame, our daily order block is still there. Okay, my daily order block is still there. I will now come down to a 4 hour time frame. Now on my 4 hour time frame, I've been able to spot a new break of structure to the downside, and I will mark it out. That is a new break of structure. Where is the origin that caused that break of structure? This particular candle right here, and you can see that zone I am using as my order block, we have imbalance present right there. Okay, I will now scale to a 2 hour time frame. Now on a 2 hour time frame, I want to redefine this particular zone. Now that I've been able to redefine that zone, I will go scale down to my entry time frame, which is the 1 hour time frame. That is where I stop. That is where I stop I don't go below. If I should go below a 1 hour time frame, that means I am looking for confirmation entries, and I do that mostly on a 15-minute time frame. But the 1 hour time frame is where I come to enter my trades. Okay, now we now have order block, imbalance, break of structure, liquidity seated right here. Okay, that is liquidity seated right there. And if I should, let us see where price started retracing from the point of reversal. Okay, this is the point of reversal. If I should take my Fibonacci from swing high to swing low, you can see that same thing that I was looking for at this particular zone where my order block tallied in line with my premium zone is the same thing that happened here. Same thing that I was looking for here. You see, I did not change anything. I did not say, okay, let me enter from imbalance, and here let me enter from other block. No, I kept my strategy, I kept everything in place. Other block, imbalance, liquidity, premium and discount zone, everything. The same thing I was looking out for here is the same thing I'm still looking out for right here. And you can see everything has tallied. All the confluences I need to see in the market tallied right there. Now what will I do? I will now place my order at this zone. TP at the point of reversal and stop loss above the recent high. Okay, that will be my entry. Now let me tell you one good thing about this software. You can see that we have an account balance of 100,000 and I want to place this particular trade. I will come here where they say order. I will click on it. I will turn on take profit. I will turn on stop loss. Now this is my entry. So where are we entering this market from? 137. I will come here. 137021. Okay, now that I've placed my entry, I will come for my stop loss. I just have to click on it and you can see 37446 stop loss has been placed. 35099 take profit has been placed. Now you can either decide to just save this trade or save and journal. If you should click on save and journal, they will ask you, another interface is going to appear where they will ask you, okay, screenshot this trade. These are your trade details. What is your confidence for this trade? But if you do not want to, probably I will do a separate video on how the FS replay backtesting software works. Okay, but if I don't want to like go through all the haste of saving and journaling, of which it is very important, okay, I will just click on save. Now, once I click on save, you see what happened. My order has been placed. My stop loss is there. My take profit is there. My entry is there and my take profit is there. Now, let's keep playing this and see if price is going to get to our entry and either hit our stop loss or hit our take profit. Let's play this particular chart. And as you can see, price came very shy of it. Look at below here. We are still on 0 0. Price hasn't mitigated it. Okay, price hasn't mitigated it. It came very close and decided to start dropping to the downside. All right, let's keep playing. Now, this is where price mitigated our entry. Price has mitigated this other block. Now, if you look at realized profit, you can see that we are currently in profit. Okay, we are currently in profit. Now let's keep playing this forward pending till price hits our full TP. So that is how I go about taking my trades, coming into the market every single time, looking at one and the same confluences, and I'm not ready to change it for any reason, because now you can see immediately price hit our full TP, the order was closed. Now you can see our account balance has now changed from 100,000 to 104,000. You can see realized PNL. You can see it right here. So this is how I go about taking my trade. Now that price has taken hitting my full TP, what happens next? I will now look at if price is going to break structures. Okay, if price breaks a new structure, I will now start looking the same thing I was looking for here: order block, imbalance, liquidity, discount and premium zone, Fibonacci is the same thing that I will keep looking for. Right now, that this doesn't mean that you will always be in profit. It doesn't mean that you will always be in profit, okay? But a strategy simply means if you have a strategy that gives you at least 60 to 70% win rate, guys, believe me, that strategy is good. That particular strategy is good, okay? I don't want this particular video to be lengthy. Probably I'll do a part 2 of how I go about taking my trade and how I go about doing a top-down analysis. But this was just a review of how this particular strategy works.